Hello everybody and welcome to day 4 of the Body Love Challenge. It's Emma from Blue Sky Vitality here, and today's topic is all about kindness, compassion, forgiveness. It was really interesting. A few months ago now, probably in this group, I asked the question of the group, what does kindness mean to you? And so many people were talking about being compassionate towards others and looking after other people and being selfless, and all those things are completely true. But I read a beautiful quote the other day, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, if your compassion doesn't include yourself, it's incomplete. And Jack Cornfield said that, and I just think that's absolutely spot on. Especially as women, we can be so concerned with looking after other people and being compassionate towards other people. But as we talked about the other day when we talked about how we sort of speak to ourselves, often that same compassion isn't shown to ourselves, and especially to our bodies. So, if you've got a friend who might have a couple of extra kilos or more on at the moment, and they said, oh my God, I look disgusting, you would probably say to them, no, you don't, you're beautiful, you've got beautiful eyes, you've got a beautiful smile, you're a beautiful person, whatever. But, the way we direct our kind of compassion to ourselves is not the same as the way we direct our compassion to other people. And I think for a lot of people, this negative self-talk can really impact on their levels of joy and happiness and their comfortableness with their own bodies. And it's kind of like regret when people sort of say, oh, I wish I'd done something this way, or I should have done it that way. And like we were talking about on day 2, no, take back your power when it comes to talking about things, and say, next time I have the opportunity, I will do this instead. So really finding the lesson in things and finding the compassion for yourself when things haven't quite gone the way that you want them to go. And carrying around all this kind of loathing or regret or anger at ourselves can actually manifest in a body that we're not comfortable with. So we can spend, our whole time feeling heavy and weighed down and unhappy and judgmental all on ourselves. And that can really impact the sort of life that you can live and the way that you treat your body, because then you start to self-medicate because you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel happy, so you're more likely to reach for the comfort food, reach for the comfort drink, and then your body doesn't feel good because you might be feeling hungover, either sugar hangover or alcohol or whatever it is, and then the next day you're not looking after yourself properly because you feel too tired and too crappy. So it's this endless cycle. So how do we break the cycle? I think the most important thing that we can do for ourselves and for our own sense of love towards our body is to forgive. So often there's people we need to forgive, other people we need to forgive, and it might have to do with things that people have said about your body in particular, because sometimes people say pretty thoughtless things. And I know my dad didn't mean this, but when I was really young, my dad told me that it looked like I had a watermelon in my tummy. And that's something that I kind of carried around with me for a really long time, and I used to be really paranoid about the way my stomach looked. But I've managed to, not that I was super angry with my dad, but I managed to forgive him saying that, because then I can forgive myself, because it doesn't matter if I have a bit of a bigger tummy. It doesn't impact me as a person. So letting go of those kind of old stories and the things that people have said to you in the past can be really, really powerful. But probably the person you need to forgive the most is yourself. So you may need to forgive yourself for not eating as well as you could have, for not exercising and caring for your body, for spending a lot of money on things that don't make you feel good but might make you look good for 10 seconds, but then you feel crappy about spending the money. You might need to forgive yourself for past relationships. You might need to forgive yourself for putting up with a crappy job for too long. You might need to forgive yourself for saying horrible things about other people's bodies. You might need to forgive yourself for wasting time on television and things that don't bring you joy and happiness. And you might need to forgive yourself for being a horrible partner to your ex. So there might be a million things that you need to forgive yourself for. And I promise you, the longer you spend on forgiving other people and yourself, the lighter and happier you will feel. This is a really amazing thing to do. And it's kind of like when we were talking about decluttering on day one. It's decluttering stories, it's decluttering old hurts, it's decluttering, things that have gone wrong in the past so that you can move forward and live in the present moment and look forward to the future, as opposed to regretting what happened in the past and carrying all that baggage with you, because as I said before, it physically and mentally weighs us down. So how do you forgive people? I'm not saying that you need to go and find every person that you've ever said a bad word about and forgive them, and ask for their forgiveness. And I don't mean that you need to chase people that have done horrible things to you down and forgive them in face to face. I don't even mean that you have to condone things that have been said to you or done to you in the past, either by other people or yourself. But it's like a sort of energetic kind of thing, letting go of the past hurt and moving on. So the best way to do that is really spend some time writing down every single thing that you can remember. And I know this is going to be painful, and you probably will need a box of tissues nearby, and you probably will need, a block of chocolate afterwards maybe to make yourself feel better. And that's okay. But I would really spend as much time as you can looking at all the ways that you've been hurt in the past, either by other people or by yourself. And I'll pop a link to a blog post that I wrote about this, because it has a whole heap of different things that you can look into and think about from your past so that you can forgive them and let them go. As I said, when it comes to our bodies, quite often our own selves are the person that we need to forgive the most. So don't forget to put yourself on the list, maybe multiple times. Once you have your massive long list of things, then I want you to read each one. You can read them out loud or to yourself. Read them. Feel the feeling that situation brought to you, and then just simply say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you. So you say I forgive you, obviously to let go of the hurt that you felt. You say, I'm sorry, because everything has two sides, if not more, and you may have had some little part to do with what happened. So I'm sorry. And you can just even be, I'm sorry this ever happened. Then you can say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you. And you're saying thank you because you're thanking this person, whether it's someone else or yourself, for allowing you to grow from this situation. And I love you because it's just much better to be feeling love towards people rather than hate. Again, if someone in your past has very badly hurt you, you don't need to actually forgive them and condone their behaviour. You don't need to love them as in take them back if they're an ex-partner or something like that. But it's just sending that energy of love to the world is a much better way than holding on to lots of hurt and anger and hate. Because believe me, that stuff can manifest into extra weight. It can manifest into feeling heavy and upset. It can manifest into bad eating and drinking habits, and it can just manifest into a life where you don't feel happy. And I want you to feel as happy as you can for as many hours of the day of every day that you can. So please have a go at forgiveness. I know it sounds a bit woo-woo, but I think it's something that I've been doing now for a while, and it really makes a difference. And now as soon as something happens that makes me upset, or I've said something bad to myself, in that mind chatter, I say, I forgive you, I'm sorry, thank you, I love you, and I let it go. And it just feels so much lighter. So I hope you'll give forgiveness a go. And your homework for today is, if you feel comfortable, and I know some of this stuff's quite personal, but maybe you can write an example of something that you're going to forgive, whether it's yourself or somebody else, because I think we could all learn from each other in terms of forgiveness, what's happened to us in the past and what we're ready to let go of. So thanks very much for watching day 4, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow on day 5. Catch you then.